So it's the 1990s. Our negotiations class professor set the stage. A war is about to break out between Ecuador and Peru. How will you stop it? I raised my hand to respond. Wait, Professor Shapiro stopped me. Tell the president what to do. And in walked the Ecuadorian president. In bringing the president to me, in having me speak to and question a shaper of history and experience the value he saw in my view, Harvard would make me feel I too could be him. I too had the power to shape history and not just be passively shaped by it. That sense of infinite possibility we have as children to think big and conquer great things was returned to me here. A less despotic version of it. But what seemed intractable problems of the world became opportunities for me, for us, to change things.
Our broken systems send young people out into the world without the ability to be in the so many unique ways that they can be something of impact in this world. Instead, we apply industrial policy to people's lives, writing off entire futures before we've even given them a chance to shine. Fundamentally, none of us are meant to be inconsequential, and each of us is a change of worlds if we are risen to our true potential. Our education system should not operate like factories that write people off wholesale like defects in a machine, but instead like innovation labs that tinker and iterate and discover our unique stories and strengths and then scale them to the sky because there is world change in each of us. We need systems that see every student not just as another statistic, but as an opportunity to transform a community. And so we have a challenge before us today, at the heart of so much of our challenge, and an opportunity at the heart of so much of our opportunity, which is to put the power of a chance at a transformative education in the hands of every community. Building and leading a startup team, the greatest lesson for me was the power of a strong team. I got to very concretely see what happens when we believe in young people and empower them to lead, how they rise to the challenge and they activate the leadership and potential of others. And suddenly, we scale in impact, and visions that seemed ambitious become within reach. And that pushed me to see all of society as our teams in taking on our greatest challenges. When others rise, they lift us all up. We stand before vast challenges: conflict, climate, the corrosion of democracy. Each of these is vast on its own, but we have a means to take them all on, and in this generation. It's when we empower millions to lead change across our millions of communities and to become a part of the solution. It's when we set off millions of peaceful revolutions in every family, every community, on every issue, in every person risen to their true potential. That is how we most powerfully take on our greatest global challenges and drive real change on them. In a chance is the power to change a world. So with urgency and hope, I put out a challenge to us all today. Let us work to set off 7.5 billion of them. It might seem ambitious, but it is within our reach.
When we are working on policies that affect people with disabilities, young people with disabilities have to be working on them. When we are speaking on questions or policies that affect women, young women need to be represented at the table working on them. People who are best positioned to understand the problems are in the best position to be working on the solutions. But driving progress cannot be the role of our governments alone. As young people, we need to take the initiative and be the change where we can't see it. And recognize that there will be challenges, but that change is not the work of a night. It is the constant commitment to a cause over the course of a life. Whatever you do, don't grow disillusioned, don't grow discouraged. Dream big, believe in what you're working toward, and work toward it every day through challenge after challenge and failure after failure. Persist and persevere, and you will find that probabilities start to mean very little. I am hopeful because of the founding mothers and founding fathers of revolutionary ideas like these being launched into the world, who will make of its institutions, its constitutions, its hospitals, its art houses, something better. We hear a lot in the news about an Arab Spring. This graduation is sending 6,000 revolutions into the world, and the 6,000 revolutions graduating as part of the class of 2014. If we take those revolutions, those great ideas sparked behind Chipotle burritos and Starbucks coffee cups in our version of Tahrir Square, Harvard Square, out with us into the real world, into the real Tahrir Squares, and make something of them. Revolutions not in arms, but in minds, more powerful and permanent and pervasive. For this isn't a Ukrainian revolution or an Arab Spring, but a global revolution. This is the Harvard Spring of 2014. This is the Harvard Spring.
Encourage their children to believe that all races are created equal. Racism is another word for ignorance. It is a poison that us humans breathe into our lungs, and it must be cured. The Constitution claims that all persons in its territories enjoy equal rights without discrimination. Another important aspect of racism that we unfortunately face in parts of the Arab region is the freedom of speech. Charged of crime because they were practicing their religion in their own household. Why should these innocent people be punished for praying to God in their own way? We humans do not understand that our thoughts are like knives scarring hearts. War has proven to us that all men bleed and that the blood is always red whatever the color of their skin. If we don't learn to speak the language of love, then we will get sucked into the spiderweb of hate. I have a dream, like Martin Luther King Jr. once did, that one day all of us humans are able to join hands and unite and walk together as brothers and sisters.